Today in the crypto space, we see the market coming down approximately 1.5%, Bitcoin right around that $67,800 level, and Ethereum also down approximately 1.5%, down to about $3,400, give or take. The rest of the crypto space, the altcoins are deep in the red. We definitely have some retracements. Solana coming down 6%, ICP, Stacks, and many others. However, we have TON showing some strength and Near Protocol getting a nice bounce to the upside. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one project that a lot of people are buzzing about, and of course that project is called Kaspa. So you know what, let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome on the channel. We talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click that bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are all in the description. And of course, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here. The market in general, volume kind of going sideways in the last little while. We can see that we're getting a bit of a bounce on the volume, kind of going sideways, and so is the overall market cap here in the crypto space, kind of going sideways. Could the sell-off be done? It's very possible that we are going to see signs of a bottom very soon. Bitcoin at the end of the day today was one of those volatile, pretty much doing nothing days, planking, taking a coffee break, doing its thing, going sideways. Bitcoin is not really that interesting. Now, that's a good sign, obviously, because then we can see some, volatility in other projects that are definitely being ignored at the current moment. So volatility throughout the market is the way we make those gains, guys. So we're going to be continue hunting for opportunities for volatility. However, guys, leading into the weekend, the volatility leading into the weekend is not always the best. The order books are very thin, lots of uncertainty, a lot of retail trading, which is again a lot of volatility without major direction. And for me, that is a good time to kind of lay back and just let the markets do its thing. However, guys, if we do get a drastic move, especially to the downside, be prepared to buy a few dips, because leading into early next week, it could be possible that we see the market totally recuperate. And that's when, obviously, you're going to have some regrets of not buying dips. All right, guys, let's just go right through this top 100 and kind of see what's going on here. We see Sol kind of doing a bit of a dip here. Not really looking good. There's a bit of FUD on Sol in the last little while. We're going to see what kind of comes out of it. We'll talk about it tonight at 7:30 Eastern. It's all about Solana getting a lot of congestion in the last little while. Because Solana, it does get criticized for a bit of downtime here and there. There is no downtime, but congestion, it is there. And given the fact that there's not much resistance to get into the ecosystem, deploying tokens and so on and so forth, we can't see that it could be possible that it's going to be prone to attacks, meaning attacks being a lot of transactions happening that are basically putting the network in a vulnerable state. So Solana at the current moment coming down 5.5%. I'm still bullish on Sol. I still feel like it has a place in this market. They're going to come out and do something to improve Sol. They always have, even though we do get some downtime here and there. I don't think Sol's going anywhere. So buy the FUD. That's basically is buy the red days. We making lower lows and lower highs in the short term here on Sol. So I'll be waiting to see if I can get some good entries. What else do we got here? We have Doge coming down again, a bit of sideways price action on Cardano. Toncoin looking strong here, guys, really strong for Tom. We have AVAX looking great, Polkadot coming down. So a lot of the price action is still kind of sideways or slowly grinding down. So as we see these these charts grinding, just prepare yourself to find an opportunity where you see a change of character in this structure. Lower lows and lower highs. What kind of clues do we need in order to see a pivot point for a higher high and higher low? And of course, we need those pivot points in order to confirm a bit of a reversal. At the current moment, we're not getting major confirmations yet in the market. The momentum's still kind of pushing down. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin next, and of course, we'll take a look at the project for today. And of course, Kaspa has been pushing down significantly in the last little while. The question is, should we be buying the dips? And like again, I always say, guys, just be prepared. Buy the dip slow and steady as you build that confidence with those confirmations. Build your exposure, get some skin in the game, because ultimately, when we get that bounce, you don't want to have any regrets. So even if it's a little position, at least you got some skin in the game. Polygon Matic coming down, ICP going sideways. We have Near Protocol getting a nice bounce to the upside, guys. Start looking to the Near Protocol ecosystem, because I'm bullish, no doubt, guys. I'm bullish on the Near Protocol ecosystem. I'm looking into what's it called? Aurora, a new DEX on Near Protocol, on the Near Protocol. It should definitely do well, given that ecosystem growth is picking up and it's very young still. So I'm keeping an eye on Near. What else do we have here? We have stocks grinding down as well, making lower lows and lower highs, down 6.3% in the last little while. Usually it's pegged to Bitcoin's bullishness, but Bitcoin has been going sideways in the last little while. Are people getting a bit fearful that Bitcoin could roll over? And stocks could be that indicator, given the fact that its market cap is lower and the volatility could definitely be there. Maybe people are taking profits, in this case, expecting Bitcoin to roll over. Altcoin coming down a little bit. What else do we have? BitTensor still showing a bit of strength, although down 3.5%. Look at the trend. Look at the structure of this trend. Higher highs and higher lows. No sign of weakness just yet, unless we're getting bearish divergence and we're hitting horizontal resistance. Guys, at this level, seeing BitTensor, Tau at about $600, bullish. Really, really good. I wouldn't be getting into fresh longs on Tau at the end of the day. I would be looking for opportunities at lower levels if it does happen, or opportunities in other projects for that matter. Let's continue going down. Let's see what else we have. We have Maker coming down a little bit after a nice, solid sideways consolidation there, getting back to the bottom of the range. And you can see all these projects are pretty much doing the same thing, lower lows and lower highs, or maybe a double bottom here and there. But generally speaking, guys, it looks like the market is still kind of selling off slightly and looking for potential support zone. Look at Kaspa. Kaspa has been grinding down significantly. Yes, it's at a $3 billion market cap. It's a large cap project. Getting in right now, don't expect some major gains. A nice 10x would be great for sure. But if we get some signs of horizontal support, maybe it is time for a bit of an entry if you're looking for, getting some skin in the game here on Kaspa. We'll take a look at the charts in a second. What else do we have? Core getting a bit of a pullback, but up still 100% in the last 7 days, guys. Good volume there. And the market in general still kind of going sideways and grinding down. So overall consensus for me, guys, there's nothing really that promising just yet. We are still waiting for some confirmations, and I know the bulls out there are waiting and lurking, trying to find those opportunities, and more importantly, looking for those confirmations. There's no point of taking risk right now. If the trend is our friend and we're still going to making higher highs and higher lows, are we going to be buying the dip heavily on a 10% correction? Some altcoins are down a little bit more. I get it, but generally speaking, the retracement is not that massive yet. I don't feel a lot of fear in the market yet. If you look at the fear and greed, it's still really hot. So the reality is, I think that, getting in too heavy at this current moment is not the brightest idea. I think the best thing to do is get in with small positions if you want to top up here and there, but reserve a bit of capital just in case it does come down to those lower levels, because the market in general right now is not totally confident. Remember, those RSIs need to get fully reset. All right, guys, I know you're here to talk about charts. Let's begin. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still within the consolidation that we were analyzing here for the last little while. Guys, this consolidation is playing out perfect. I expected a consolidation. In fact, I had these spider lines in here really early, before we even had this top and bottom, because I had this idea that ultimately a contraction here in volatility would be ideal, because we were overbought for an extensive amount of time. And you can see that we're hesitating here at the RSI in the chop zone at 50% mark for a good amount of time. And we can see that is the basis of this sideways consolidation. Let's take a look at this in a little bit more detail. Ultimately, as we consolidate here, as we see the RSI in the chop zone, we can fulfill the symmetrical triangle. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be symmetrical. It's too early to tell, really. I know there's a lot of people on the socials that are so convinced that this is a symmetrical triangle and that we're, in fact, a lot of them are making these very solid lines. I'm more confident in the top right now being solid, but the bottom, I am not so confident. I am not confident confident that the bearish response is over. To be honest, you know, we got one impulsive move, one retracement. Do we get another impulsive move? I want to see one more impulsive move. If we get another impulsive move, whatever it is, then I'm more confident in making this a solid line and finding the bottom. To be honest, I'm not too confident here. And one of the reasons why I'm not super confident is the fact is that the RSI is still in the chop zone, the 50% mark. What about if we peak down a little bit more? What about if we do something like this? What about if we get oversold? And all those ifs leave me in a state of, you know, insecurity. I'm not really going to get into really big longs or riskier positions with bigger sizes, position sizes, until I get a bit more of a confirmation that we're not coming down. The only way I'm going to get that, to get in with a big position size, is to see the RSI completely oversold on the daily. Now, I might get it on the 4 hour. But if I get in on the 4 hour, I'm going to get out on the 4 hour. And if I'm going to get it on the 4 hour, I also want to see some good horizontal support. So right now where we are, honestly, is not bad to expect a continuation to the upside. Some people might be calling this a nice cup and handle. Could be possible that some people might analyze it to be that. But the retracement is too deep, in my opinion. If it falls below the 0.5 Fibonacci, swing low to swing high, retracement down here, that's a bit too deep there for that, you know, cup and handle to be valid. However, guys, I'm expecting something to the downside, and I'm not sure if it's going to be a vigorous one. And if it comes down with strength, we could come down all the way to this thick white line, and eventually that would paint out a descending triangle. And now then, descending triangles are really tough, especially when you're leading into a bullish trend. You see the bullish impulse, symmetrical triangle would be good because it insinuates continuation, but a descending triangle, you know, statistically speaking, it should break down bearish. But in a bullish trend, those symmetrical triangles or descending triangles, you know, sometimes get ambiguous, and they could be a continuation pattern. So what I really want to do is give it some time. I'm not willing to take risk here. So what's the point of focusing on Bitcoin, on a Bitcoin entry at this current moment, when I'm not really interested in trading it right at the moment? I'd rather get into altcoins and look for altcoins that are at the bottom of the range. All right, guys, let's continue. Let's move on. Let's take a look at Kaspa. We'll catch up more on Bitcoin later tonight at 7:30 Eastern. Feel free to join, guys. It's a great time and place to make any requests for any projects you want me to cover and take a look at. Feel free to join then, 7:30 Eastern. Let's move on to Kaspa. KAS is the ticker. Kaspa has been a beast in the past, guys. We gotta admit, community very, very strong, borderline toxic, but all good, because you know what? That's what it needs. If you need a toxic community to get the price going, so be it. However, we can critique it all day long with regards to tech, and that's the majority of the market right now. That's how we were critiquing Kaspa. Strong community, but weak tech, in the sense that there's not even smart contracts just yet. So where are they at? You know, when are we gonna get that going? And of course, when that happens, it's likely to get a great response from the market. Now all of a sudden we start looking at, you know, history. Of course we can start talking about what happened in the past. Guys, excuse all the horizontals, but I don't like deleting my TA. I don't, because I like to keep everything valid. I like to keep my strategy totally intact, so I can reflect on what happened, so I can use the fractals for future price action. Now you can see that we bought in very, very early here on the channel, and I de-risked at all opportunities where I felt that I needed to take some profit off the top. Now that we are at the current scenario, flying to higher levels, and you know, definitely at the current zone showing a bit of weakness and de-risking a little bit more right at here at about 16.5 cents, I'm in a good spot. I don't really care if it comes down or not, because ultimately I de-risked here, taking a good portion of my capital off the table, so I'm not worried about, you know, it retracing and losing my entries and all that kind of stuff. Then of course, hindsight is I should have kept in, because look at that, nice pop to the upside. Now I don't mind if I took profits a bit early, because nobody has ever gone broke taking profit. I can conclude and say that I'm a profitable trader because of that profit taking opportunity. And then all of a sudden we are here at about 16.5 cents and taking profit again. Now, if you look at it, what's happening with these two tops, 1 and 2, right? We are getting Class A bearish divergence right here. And if we match it up with the RSI, the two tops on the RSI, 1 and 2, we are definitely making a lower high on the RSI. And you can also conclude that even on the MACD. You see the histogram the EMA crosses, these two peaks right here, downward sloping. And if we extend that further, even to the histogram bars, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they are also downward sloping. Yes, they are. So this is the thing, guys. We're getting Class A bearish divergence on those two tops. Not a good sign, okay? Not not a good sign. So let's kind of get out of this and kind of see the price action. Now, what do we do when we're in this scenario? I like to look for horizontal support. Horizontal supports are the best zones to anticipate reaction. It doesn't mean that we're going to get a reversal. It doesn't mean that we're going to get a huge bounce to the point that, you know, we might get into price discovery in one go or V recovery or whatever it is. What I'm trying to say here is that we might get an emotional reaction where we get a dead cat bounce and then a continuation to the downside or whatever the case may be. It could be a good DCA opportunity. What I do know is that I am seeing a bit of volume accumulation right into this area. So that means that there's market participation. That means that it might get attention. And at the current moment, we are getting a bit of a double bottom right here in the chop zone. The RSI is still in that chop zone. As I mentioned, guys, I don't like trading the chop zone. When the price action, the RSI is in the chop zone, the price action tends to want to go sideways. Backtest that. Feel free. Take a look at this price action. Sideways. Look at the RSI. Chop zone. Right? And you can keep on going. Go look at a history, look at different price action. You'll see that that's the case. Now, if we go sideways and plank sideways, accept the fact that the price action might whipsaw people out of their positions. Straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, whipsaw price action, get people wrecked. That's what it equates to. So for me, I'd rather get into a trending type of scenario where I see it go up or down. Doesn't matter. You guys know how we do it here on the channel. Now, if we look at the MACD, EMAs are still open to the downside. A lot of indecision here on Kaspa. So at the end of the day, what do? Look at the last time that this happened. A lot of messy price action. And it doesn't look like a great place to trade because it goes sideways there when you get that indecision, choppy price action. People are getting wrecked. They're not getting good confirmations. So I understand where the bulls are right now. I understand that the bulls are not willing to take risk and why, right? But then again, I understand that after that insecurity and all that vagueness, eventually we wake up. And eventually we can make that expansion because right now we're in a contraction phase. We're consolidating. Eventually we will get into an expansion. Now the question is, do we go up or do we go down? Now let's talk about the bearish scenario. The bearish scenario is impulsive move, consolidation, impulsive move. Maybe we come down, and we do have horizontal levels of support. We have the 200 daily EMA right here, the orange line looking pretty good, right? We do have this diagonal. If you kind of look at where this thick line is coming from, all the way down here, a nice legacy trend line that's coming all the way down here. And then we can start looking at, you know, levels of confirmations, which are these previous lows. All this price action down here, guys, it needs to be protected by the bulls, and it's at about 9.7 cents more or less. If we do break below that, guys, we're getting a confirmation low, a lower low. If we make that lower low, it's not looking good. Okay, even a double bottom is better because it's likely if we get class A bullish divergence on the double bottom and it's looking good, it's not bad. But with this bearish divergence, making a lower low below 9.8 cents or more or less, guys, we're getting a confirmation that on the next impulsive move to the upside as a response from the bulls, it is likely that we're going to get a confirmation high, a lower high. And if we made a lower low and we're going to make a lower high, the market is going to go wild and start shorting this thing all the way down. Okay, so this is the issue here now. Is it a make it or break it moment for Kaspa? And usually that is when it is the best time to take risk. The retracement is good. Where's your invalidation? This is what we got to talk about. If we went bullish, where are you going to validate? If we went bearish, what do we need? We need a lot more data for bearishness, to be honest. I'm not totally confident yet with this sideways consolidation. As you can see, we need a little bit more to look at it as a bear flag. I would like to see what's going on, and it's all hinged upon Bitcoin. We see that Bitcoin is still in its symmetrical or some triangular formation and is nowhere near the breakout. You know, we need to get about 70% towards the apex of any triangular formation consolidation in order to get confident of the breakout, you know, coming around. And sometimes it doesn't even happen. Sometimes it even goes right through the triangle. It planks sideways and then Bart Simpsons to the downside or to the upside even still. So it could happen where we go down, sideways, 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 Bart Simpson to the upside. Why not? Right? That's the reality. Now, if you look at momentum, very indecisive. No real oversold conditions just hit yet. It hasn't hit it here, and we got a nice bounce. It hasn't hit it here, and we got a really good bounce. You know, and we only got it down here almost pretty much in the bear market, right? So that's the reality. In the bear market, we were getting those deeper retracements, and expect that to happen in a bear market or sideways consolidation type of market. We are in a trending type of bull rally, bull market scenario. Don't expect those retracements and don't expect the RSIs to get get fully oversold. They're not going to happen that way. That's how we make higher highs and higher lows in a bull run. The momentum doesn't get to those extreme zones often. They do, but not as often. So what we got to understand is that we're also making a nice trend. Look at the RSI, the 200 daily EMA looking really good. We got these two bottoms really nice. It's starting to look like a bit of a channel. If we kind of organize this, exclude the wicks or whatever you want to do, you can see that we're channeling upwards. We're at the bottom of the channel, hitting some good support based on these two tops, the beginning of a potential weak spot here on the volume profile. I know that the RSI is not the greatest. I know that the MACD is not the greatest. So what am I feeling here? I'm feeling a 50-50 shot. I'm saying that, it's not a bad idea to start building a bit of a position on KAS, because 100% that you're not buying tops. Look at the retracement. Let's measure it. Swing high to swing low, we're talking about a 33% dip, which is pretty good. And if we come down, we got to be prepared that the next area that I'm looking for an opportunity to buy is at about $1. Okay, this area right here at this low needs to be protected by the bulls. So the disparity and the emotion of coming down to that level, we should get a reaction if we do not hold this area. What I'm basically saying, guys, it's a good time to look for those horizontal support levels and start DCAing. We got the 200 daily right into here. So green arrow right into here by the dip, based on the 200 daily, by this diagonal support line, by the horizontal support line. We got a lot of good confluence in here. DCA, green arrow. Let me see if I can get a green arrow in there real quick for you guys. I like this level. Not bad. Deploy a bit, maybe 25%. Use a 20-20-40, 20% here, 20% down here, 40% right down here. If you only get 20% in, all good, no worries. At least you have some exposure. Get the rest of the capital that you didn't deploy and hunt for a new project and something else that's at the bottom of the range, and keep on doing that. Because if you FOMO in and all at once right now and we come down here, guys, you're gonna have to hold a particularly long dip, and it's gonna be a red one. Okay, so that's what you were trying to avoid here, risk. And the only way you mitigate your risk is ensuring that you have some way to protect your initial investment, your initial capital, at a good risk to reward ratio opportunity. So DCA a little bit here. We have a lot of good confluence, and down here is not bad too. And if you want to, again, tap into this bottom, is not a bad idea. Okay, let's take a look at the 4-hour real quick, see what's going on here. Nothing really interesting, guys. Whenever the daily is in the chop zone, it's likely that we do get some volatility on the 4-hour, but you can see that's not even that much. We never got overbought or oversold in this whole area. So I'm not that crazy about it. If I'm not getting volatility, how am I going to make a proper decision? Going sideways, up and down is not a trader's opportunity unless the range is wide. Right? Not this tight consolidation like this. You want a wide range, almost like, think back Chainlink, how it was going nice and wide, a nice 20-30% range. I think it was about that. That's a good range. But look at this little range right in here. You're going to get wrecked trying to time that market. In fact, look at this. Cup and handle. Inverse cup and handle right now, guys. Not looking good. Let's see what kind of retracement we got here. Swing high to swing low. 0.5 Fibonacci, respected it, still in play. Nice rounded top right here. Nice handle, cup and handle, inverse cup and handle, slightly slanted. All fair game, very valid. I know a lot of traders say that's not valid. It absolutely is, guys. Go do your homework, because inverse head and shoulders, the cup and handles can be slanted and still fulfill their target, and their target would be pretty much the opening or the entire size of the cup. In this case, the depth of the cup, and we'll kind of move it here to the breakout zone, and we're coming down. Now, I'm not saying it's going to absolutely get there, but if you think about it, that's the max pain. That's the area for max pain for Kaspa. That's the area where you're going to expect a lot of the people that got in and had the same idea as me. And look at all the volume right in here. I know my charts are messy. It's because I'm not deleting any of my TA from the past. But you can see a lot of this volume. This is where all these people that are in here so confident with their current position will get tested. And they'll most likely capitulate. And that's how we form liquidity for the markets. And that's how we can buy the dips on the cheaps if you do have conviction on Kaspa. So I'm not saying that it's going to happen. What I'm saying is that ultimately prepare for a dip. And now, I don't know if we're going to fall through this volume gap. It could be possible here, guys. I'm just saying that ultimately it's all about Bitcoin. If Bitcoin does roll over in a big way, expect Kaspa to get on the fire sale. Expect the market to get on the fire sale. It's not going to be just Kaspa. But really, short term, I like this level to accumulate a bit of a bag, just in case we do get a pop to the upside. But just remember, any entries at this level need to be defended as soon as we get into the green. right? Because again, we could break down from this cup and handle at any moment. In fact, we can make a complex handle with multiple peaks and valleys in here and eventually consolidate and then break down. It doesn't have to be a perfect little handle like this. It can be a consolidation and then break down. So as soon as you get into some green, make sure you trail up that stop loss, put yourself at minimum break even, and let's see if we can get that bounce right back to previous highs. At this stage, I'm waiting for Bitcoin to give me more of a confirmation. This is why I'm being very, very hesitant. Guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor. Slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join that Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. Take care, guys. See you tonight. Have a good one, and don't forget, buy the dip.